words can read. Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a book review on What Happens Next by Colleen. Clayton. I just want to say as a disclaimer that I didn't receive this review. This is a book that I purchased myself and it's going to contain my true opinions only. So the first half of this video is going to contain the non-spoilers, and then the second half will contain all the spoilers where I talk about in detail what I thought about like certain parts of the book and that sort of thing. So first of all, I will explain what this story is about. So we have this girl called Sid, and she goes on this skiing trip along with her classmates, and while she's there she meets this guy called Dax, and he's like a sort of college student, and they sort of hit it off really well. And the next morning she wakes up and she doesn't remember the night at all. She just remembers like feeling really quite strange, and then she gets suspended for a couple of days from school because she ran off with this guy, and it's just sort of like against the rules sort of thing. So then she returns back to school. She hadn't been answering any of her friends' messages, so she just literally like blanked out on it, and she's sort of like been trying to deal with what had happened at that ski resort. And then she just tries to like get friends with them again, and they're just like, psh, no, because you didn't reply to my email, yet you replied to this email, someone else's, sort of thing. So she's feeling really lonely, and like she doesn't have any friends, and her only sort of way, she goes to find a sort of like job at the school to sort of like look good on her record, and it's just to sort of help work in the audiovisual room. And so there's this guy called Corey who is literally an outsider. Who's known as like a stoner geek guy, and she's just like, you're just a stoner, leave me alone, you. But then she eventually develops this really good friendship with Corey, and throughout this book she is dealing a lot with what happened. She is dealing a lot with her body confidence, because she is shown as this very voluptuous person. She's very curvy, she's got big boobs and wide hips and that sort of thing. So she's sort of dealing with that because she's forever being known for that, like, hey, look at those tits, or like, oh, look at that ass, sort of thing. So it really gets to her, and she sort of starts making herself throw up and pretty much gets a bit obsessed with it. So really it's just literally a really good story that is about obsession with body confidence, with our bodies, with, you know, through name calling and everything. And also it's literally about rape, so trigger warnings for rape and like eating disorders and that sort of thing. But I thought, I mean, I haven't gone through rape or eating disorders myself, but I thought, and like how it was written, it was done really, really well. Like I literally was just like, and you could really feel what she was feeling, you could really see the struggles, and it is throughout the book that she's going through this, just when she's just sort of like fainting, and like when she's just sort of like getting hot sweats, or when she's just sort of like in shock sort of thing, and when she's just sort of like brought to that time when she has to like run to the toilet sort of thing. So yeah, it's just, I thought it was done really well. So yeah, so there is a romance in this book that I will say as well, so it's romance. But what I really liked about it is kind of like a thriller mystery contemporary romance story about eating disorders and body confidence and that sort of thing. And there's like family and friendship that's really strong in this, especially friendship. And yeah, I thought it was really good. So now I'm going to touch on like the characters. So we've got Sid Murphy, and there were so many times in this book where you're literally like, oh my goodness, wrong decision, why did she do that? But then it's just, you got to think of like what she's going through and what she's going through, that sort of like situation of, you know, the rape sort of thing, or the possible rape and sort of thing. Like she found a chunk of her hair missing that this guy had kept as like almost like a signature sort of thing, like he's going to keep it as a present, and it's just it's gross. And I've been in situations where I've literally just like been in situations where it's just it just creep you out when somebody's like older than you, and they're just like someone older like hitting on you, and it's just sort of like it really creeps you out. And I've been freaked out before in those sort of situations. So that's the closest that I can probably relate to this book, like literally being freaked out. And she does freak out really quite a lot throughout this book, and it's really understandable because she doesn't open up about it with anybody. Like she literally just closes it in, and her only way of like letting it out is through her just running to the toilet and making herself feel sick. So it's just, yeah, it's really like sort of horrible to see her go through, and especially, you know, a really curvy figure. And these days men love a curvy figure, and you know, these days a lot of people are size 12, size 14, you know, I myself am one of those people. And you know, I'm not a stick insect, but guys like a bit of meat on the bones. Well, that's what legend has to believe of these days. But yeah, it's just, it's all just different really. So it's about body confidence, and especially in this sort of century where we are trying to get that body confidence out. So many people are getting so body confidence. We're getting models like down the walkway that are size 12, size 14, which is fantastic. We should have people modelling that sort of curvy figure, because we shouldn't have, you know, size 4 or size 6 or whatever it is. It's, you know, it's crazy. We shouldn't be idolising that sort of size. We should be loving ourselves for who we are, but also remaining healthy at the same time. Anyway, I went off on like a little bit of tangent for that sort of thing. So then we obviously got Dax Windsor, who we meet the very beginning of the book, and he's this guy, and he's just like, yeah, I'm a college student, and at first you're just like, hey, it's this really hot guy, whatever. So that's the only time we really ever see his appearance in his sort of like person throughout the book. Later on we have a moment where he appears, which I'll speak about in the spoilery section for those of you that have read this book. And we got the two friends of Sid. They are so supportive, they literally know Sid like the back of their hand, like growing up there and everything, and they are incredibly supportive. And it's such a shame that Sid did not open up sooner, but then, you know, it wouldn't make this book what it is by it being what it is, because once she opened up, you know, it's so sweet. You really see the friendship, and they just back her up so much, and they support her so much, and it's just, they are really two fantastic friends. And even Sid's mum is just very supportive. She's a really awesome parent, and it's just, it's so good. And then we obviously have Corey, who is literally the guy that all females should be idolising, because he is just so genuine. And really, this is literally just like looks should, you know, not deceive people. Like you shouldn't let the looks of people picture and change your mind on them, sort of like, you know, it is what it is. Like, it's like this stoner guy, and he's really genuine. He's really nice, he's really kind, he does things for people, helps people out, and he is so like hot on his family. And it's just, it's really beautiful to see. And just the things that he does for Sid without her realizing is so super cute. And yeah, he's literally, like I say, the guy we should be idolizing. And their friendship is so sweet. Like throughout this book, I was seeing Sid as this, like, you know, sort of like beauty queen, just sort of like walking with her two friends, like they're the queen bee sort of thing. So she's like, I envisioned her as like a queen bee with this skater dude. That's just how I was visualizing it for some reason. Probably isn't that. Probably she's just like amongst her friends as like a middle person, not like massively popular sort of thing. But yeah, just, it's like the princess and the frog sort of situation. Yeah, it's really, really sweet and so good. So yeah, so those are literally like all of the characters. I really liked this story purely because I thought it was pure. I thought it touched on a couple of subjects that we don't often get to read about, and especially as a contemporary, it's really nice to sort of read about it, especially like eating disorders. And it's horrible, and some people go through that sort of stuff, and rape as well. It touches on rape, and yeah, it's horrible, but I thought it was executed like really, really well, and it was just a really interesting read that I found myself just, I couldn't put it down. Like I was forever like wanting to read it, even through the times when I really like wasn't motivated because I was unwell. So I was just sort of like, oh, I really want to read, or like when I was really tired and I was like, oh, I just want to read this book. And yeah, there were days where I would just like read like 50 pages before starting work, and I just found that I couldn't stop, and I finished this book actually on a sleep shift. I was just waiting to fall asleep on my sleep shift, and I just finished it, and yeah, so good. I remember picking this up, I think actually from London, from Foyles. I just picked it up and I was like, oh, I've seen this book like on Amazon or something like that, or the Book Depository, or I've seen it on BookTube. I can't remember where I actually saw it the first. I never saw a review on it. I just read the back and I was just like, oh, awesome. I love a good contemporary, especially with, you know, geeky guy that she falls for sort of thing, like that sort of trope, you know. So I literally like fell for that. There really was nothing that I disliked about this book. I just found it very, very interesting that it's literally like a really, really well executed story, and I just enjoyed it so well. The ending does leave you in a sort of way where you want more. Like I literally would love a sequel to this, and I know she hasn't written one because I did check, and this was actually published in 2012, so actually a few years ago now. So you wouldn't believe it was like that, but I've owned this book a few years, believe it or not. So yeah, so I really, really enjoy it. I totally recommend it. It's worth buying. Obviously those are the trigger warnings, and I'll put those in the description as well for you guys to see. Trigger warnings of rape, eating disorders, but yeah, really, really great on friendship and just how those two trigger warnings are dealt with, and it was superb. And it's a shame that Colleen hasn't really written a lot of books. I know she's written like one other book that I definitely would be intrigued to give a read to see if I like it. But yeah, this is really, really good, really good. Is this a book that I would read again? Yeah, most probably. Give it a year or 2 or 3, and if there's a moment where I'm in a reading slump where I'm like, I want a good book that I know that I really enjoyed, this would be an option. So yeah, totally recommend it. So of course I had to give it 5 out of 5 Kit Kats because there wasn't a single thing that I found wrong with this book. I really recommend it just because of the subjects that it touches on and everything. So that is the end of the non-spoiler section. I'm now going to go on to a couple of spoilers, not too many. So if you guys have read this book and you'd like to discuss the spoilers, then please continue with the video. But if you haven't read it, I please suggest that you do add it to your TBRs. It's calling for you, and it's so, so good. And I was looking on BookTube actually to see if there was anybody that has reviewed this, and I've only found like one other person. So yeah, definitely give it a read because more people need to. So goodbye non-spoiler people, and hello to the spoilery people. So Corey and Sid, oh my goodness, their relationship, I love it so much. I love it so much. Like they are so cute. And when Corey like had that boat thing planned, I thought that was really sweet. And the fact that he was holding out for her when, especially because she was going through the rape situation, and when she said when she was flinching because of it all, like it's amazing like the damage one event can do to one person, and how she just overcame that confidence, and how she could never actually say the words like I love you to Corey. She was just too afraid because of everything. And these scenes where she is literally like in the toilet, like vomiting, and you can see her that she's losing weight, and then she's going to the store and she's needs to buy new clothes because she has to, but she just sort of like doesn't want to because it's been like her comfort, and then when she has to, it's just sort of like, oh my god, people are going to notice sort of thing. But it's just the real struggle of that, and it's when people do notice, like people notice weight loss sort of thing. Like people notice when I've lost half a stone, they're like, you look like you've lost a bit, and I'm just like, well, I have. Like, you don't think it's like a lot, only a few pounds, but it does make a difference, like off your face and whatever. People notice when you put weight on as well. I myself have done, obviously. So yeah, it's just yeah, it's just one of those things. But I just thought their relationship was really, really adorable. Dax Windsor, I would like to cut his dick off. He's just a vile human being, and just when we see him later, I'm so glad that they had that reveal, like in the paper, that his actual real name, his actual real age in his picture, and that he's had other people sort of like claim about him as like raping them, and just the shock on Sid's face when she just finds out, and she is just like, and she's like near to fainting, and oh, that was really, it was horrible. It's so horrible that for people to go through rape, and especially for him to just do something to Sid, for her to not remember anything. And if I had to put and say something, I would like to have had that night revealed a little bit more. But there's no way, like maybe like the investigation into a bit more, like it ends really nicely, but I'd love for there to be like a sequel or something, just to find more out about this, you know, this actual rape incident, that sort of thing. But that's just the investigator in me and the detective in me. I just would like to find out more, but I would also love to see these two. And you know what, if there was a spin-off with like one of Sid's friends in her relationship or something, like I love it. Like I would love to see that. And then there were these like brothers that were in the beginning, because Kirsten and Paige are the friends. There was brothers in the beginning, and I was just like, oh, like is it going to be about these guys? Is it going to be one of these? But no, just no. That's all I really just want to touch on in the spoilery section. It wasn't going to be like too much. I just wanted to talk about the characters in a little bit of detail, and more about things that they do in a bit more detail, and Dax Windsor in more detail when he appears later. Yeah, this was such a good book, and I totally recommend it, and it leaves you to thinking, and there's just a lot of hope that's at the end of this book, and it's just like really positive ending to a really negative incident. And it's so good. And Sid even says, like near the end of the book, she just sort of like never in a million years would she have thought that, like she said like a year ago, that she would be in the position that she is in now, where she's like found Corey, who would do absolutely anything for her, and these two friends that would do like anything for her, a brilliant mum that would do anything for her, and just all the respect around that group. Just, it's really, really beautiful to see, and you should honestly give it a read. So yes, that's it for my book review on What Happens Next by Colleen Clayton. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please give me a thumbs up so that I know that you guys did, and if you have read this book, let me know down below what you thought about it. If you haven't read it, then please do let me know if you're going to give it a read. I hope you sincerely will add it to your wish list. But that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching my video as always. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie. All of my social media links will be linked down below if you'd like to follow me elsewhere, and I will see all of you wonderful, awesome people in my next video. Bye!